I really need her. Sometimes I need to talk to someone. I need to talk to my mom about some things I need to just, I'm passing through and all, but there is nobody I could talk to. Except, the only person I talk to is my dad.
I am Mr. Agbola Adeoye Abraham, a Christian, and I'm a member of RCCG, Redeemed Christian Church of God. I attend a parish here known as Peace Pavilion. I'm a native of Ogbomoso in Oyo State. I relocated to Lagos in 1976. There, after finishing my school cert, then I have a brief working experience with West African Examination Council. From there, I gained an admission to a higher school where I had my HSC. And from there, by the grace of God, I proceeded to Unilag, where I had the first degree, BSc in Political Science. Thereafter, I didn't go for a service here because of age, so I was accepted not to serve. So that same year, as luck will have it, I gained admission again. I was readmitted to study for my master's degree. So I'm a holder of master's degree. I am an educationist. I own a center that I coordinated from Osun State College of Education, where we are training teachers for NC to be qualified as a professional teacher here in Lagos. It's a very interesting story, and I thank God because I met her through some kind of family arrangement. Not that I cannot woo any lady by myself, far from that. But I used to have a cousin who is saying, brother supposed to have get somebody now. And then she now, our own friend, his own wife friend, they now organize the way we can meet in such a lovely environment. Then they were living at Ibadan. And then if you call it matchmaking, call it any other thing, is fate. It's destiny, is fate. So somehow we met. And when I proposed to her, like any other lady, she turned me down. And myself too, like any other young man, I said, look, I attended University of Lagos, the most urban university in Nigeria. That's how we Akokites, that's how we used to, brag then. And I said, if you are not interested, then I'm not interested. But as fate will have it, eventually I called her, because it's not the era of GSM, you just telephone this channel. So I now happens to call her again, she responded, then pronto. From there we start writing each other letters and things like that. As at the time I met her, she's a proud owner of an NC certificate and already was working at Notre Dame Girls High School in Oru. So that is where I used to go to, visit her and things like that. From the very day I met her, she's been a very wonderful woman. She's been a very caring and loving somebody. So much so that, I don't know, this is another thing I want to see, but I don't know whether I can say it. There was a time I fell sick. It was malaria. And in the toilet, I fell down. She heard that I fell down. She came rushing to me, taking care, and things like that. I cannot forget. Taking care of me. And since then, anytime I go to Uru to visit her, because of me, She will go and buy chicken, slaughter it and prepare it and make sure that, I have a very wonderful time. And if you want to know, there is another contender that we are struggling together to have our love. And that individual, because of me, she dropped that individual. We met, two rivals, there was a time we met, and I start bragging like a Lagosian that I'm this, I'm that, and things like that, just to scare my opponent and things like that. Even then, I was not working, but I told the guy I'm a freelance person when I was introducing myself, freelance journalist, whereas I am not. May the good Lord forgive me. Things like that. So, it's been very, very wonderful since I met her. Initially, honestly, we do not know it's an Alzheimer disease, a disease of the brain that degenerating the brain before you say Jack Robinson. What we first noticed is that very brilliant woman, she's keep on failing her promotion exam. Very, very emotional. My wife is so brilliant that even when she went for her degree, maybe I did not mention that, maybe it's worth mentioning here. She told me at a time that she used to call me Dimi. In fairness, a lot of people used to wonder, what is Dimi? Dimi is just dear me, my dear. So that Dimi, I want to go back to have my degree. In fairness, it was the happiest day for me because I love education. And that's how she got admitted to Ilorin University. That is where she had an NCA. And then, even when she was having the pregnancy of our third child, Oluwagbotimi, she was still there at the sandwich period, holiday period at Ilorin to, study hard for her degree. And we thank God she was able to obtain her degree. So let me now come back briefly to failing exams. Because somebody who really, sometimes they will even, she have to crumple their papers, like 2 papers, while other people are doing another paper. They will be rushing her to do this one so that she can join them. So how such a woman managed to pass, to have a degree? It keep on beating my imagination. Can you now see such a woman now failing promotion exam? And we start having this when, I think from grade level 13 to 14, we start having, she dropped. And again, when we lost our mother in 2008, eventually she passed, made grade level 14 or 15 thereabout. Then from 15, she couldn't pass again. So much so that some of our mates start meeting her on the same grade level. It's so emotional, so terrible, so sad. That what a woman like this, a brilliant, because all her life she has been a very wonderful teacher. Just going, sometimes you see those that are passed through or under her, they just either kneel down or prostrate to greet her. And when she said, I don't know you, you are my teacher, you taught me at so place. To now imagine she couldn't, pass promotion exam. Many a time it brings tears out of my eyes. I feel so very sad because I know she's brilliant. Mommy, as you see mommy, you can't beat her. You can't say any other thing. And my mommy, and my wife will be looking for an answer to give you. She's so quick-witted. She gives it straight to you. Now to now imagine that this individual now stay on the same spot and all others. Then I start praying. My prayer point is, oh Lord, don't let this woman be disgraced out of public service, teaching service. And so pronto, Ambode called me, and Ambode change the system. Let them have training, interview, use that one to promote them. So you just find out that that's how she was not disgraced out of service. She moved from that 15 to 16. She now retired as this thing of education, director, either assistant director of education, or I think director of education. As she retired on that. So how do we notice? And I've told you how we notice that she's been troubled with some kind of disease that then we do not know until we started going to the hospital to attend clinic. But one thing happened. So there was a time she said she's going, because sometimes she would just come back home and say, Daddy, for you, did you know I missed my way today? How come? And another thing I noticed that when she want to go somewhere and she starts it, I said, look, you've been in Lagos for a very long time. I do not expect you to start. I don't know that is onset of that disease, that she will just forget places and things like that. Sometimes we'll be at the district 1, education district at Agege, and she will miss her road. There was one day she came home, just saw all this moment that so emotional. She started crying. Hey, mommy, for you, what's the problem? She said, do you know I missed my way? I cannot go front. I cannot go back. I don't know where I am. I don't know what's happening to me. And I said, can't you ask? He said, which can I ask? I don't even remember asking anybody. Then thereafter, she was able to, everything come back again. We don't know. Her brain has started malfunctioning. So just one day she said she wanted to go to Ikeja General Hospital, and she wanted to go alone. I said, you cannot go alone. That day we quarreled and things like that. She went alone. Thank God she come back. And then from then, and I told myself that as her husband, I must follow her to wherever I need any other time she wants to. So we notice all these things since 2014, but it's not on a full scale. She was still living a normal life. We start attending clinic, I think around 2015. There's another one, let me keep it in briefly here. There was a time she was lost. We went out together that fateful morning to the bank. So then I would need to go and do something about her pension at Agidimbi. And I took her to the bus stop at Abule Egba here. And I don't even know whether she has entered. No, she entered the bus. And I left, facing my own Agidimbi. I don't know. It's a very big mistake of my life that I supposed to have escorted her home. Because this thing that we are saying, she used to go to Ijaide on a morning walk, because I said, if she's not doing morning walk, it might affect her in a way. This is how my wife got missed. We looked for her for about 6 days, and it was raining season. So it's so traumatic, so emotional, that I will sleep in the night and I will be wondering, where is this woman now? How is she feeling? Is she somewhere in the rain? Rain is beating her. Has she just mistakenly fallen into a ditch? People started calling her witches. Because when people are not coherent, when people are moving about dirty, they will think that something has happened. And then thereafter, they asked us to do MRI. That's to scan our brain. That was the time we know it was an Alzheimer disease. But the children were in the university, the 3 of them. I told myself, how do we want to cope with 3 children in university? And then the MRI they asked us to do is over 70,000 naira. And I told them in the hospital that our children are still in school. And then my own business is not moving the way I think it should, that they should please give us some time. They said, no problem. So we can do it when we are able to afford it. And when we can afford the money, we made the money available. And then from there, that was the time we know it's this terrible disease known as Alzheimer. And what was she diagnosed of? She was diagnosed of a degenerating disease of the brain. a degenerating disease of the brain. As from that time, you can even notice every now and then, every month that pass by, every year that roll by, that this thing truly is what they say it is. Degenerating, making her miserable, and so many things like that. So much so that even by now, a lot of memorable things you can't remember again. She's an individual that has given to details, even all the details of her secondary school, some of her very interesting mates, because she attended a Catholic secondary school, all girls. And those who are training them then are maybe Scottish people, people from Dublin, people from UK. So she used to describe to her, even the children would be laughing. I say, Eunice, go out of my classroom. And so you can see that. So, and she has a very wonderful time at Notre Dame Girls' School. So much so that she was so good to them that after she graduated from NC, she was allowed to come and work at Notre Dame Girls' School, because the brother then was an educator too. He was working in the Ministry of Education. Even at the time, he was a principal and things like that. Yeah, being in this situation, you can see, like any other husband, I missed a lot. I miss her very good cooking, very good food. Because when at the onset of this, I don't know, I keep on wondering, my wife will be dodging kitchen. I say, what's happening? That was the time, what's happening? She will tell me, I have children, let my children. And I said, where are the children now? Because for Saturday, the first daughter will go to work. Or maybe then she was in school. And you know, boys don't normally, unless very few that can cook in the family. Then I started cooking because we must eat. I started cooking. I miss that a lot. What about intimacy? Social activities, places that we're supposed to go together, that I'm going alone now. I so emotional that many a time, though we have a caregiver, many a time because I still have to struggle because I didn't do pensionable job, so I still have to. So thank God, by the time she retired, they told us that we should write a letter on a passionable letter. I don't know how to put that. A letter that shows that she is sick and down with the Alzheimer disease and things like that. And that with that, they will be able to fast track entitlement, pension, something. So these are the things that really happen. I miss a lot. I miss companionship. I miss somebody that is a husband and wife do quarrel. But then we will come back together again, settle our quarrel, and move on again with our lives. And I need to say here that all our 3 children are graduates. I thank God for her life. She played a very, very, very important role in their life. In terms of school fees, in terms of, because the time I was working, there was a time I was a site supervisor. The pay is fair. But thereafter, I lost that job. But when I come back home and say, this is the bill, or when the children bill, I will ask them to put everything together. This is the bill, and she will support. And with that, that's how the 3 of them finished, graduated from their various university. Those memorable things, I would love her to remember over and over again, is when we met and those wonderful times we had together as lovers. She used to love soft music. Do you call it, what's the name of all the sentimental music? Okay, countryside music. She used to be a lover of countryside music, Don Williams, Kenny Rogers, this woman, this very Dolly Parton and things like that. So anytime I go to Oru at our school, these are the things we enjoy together. And the first cassette player I bought, I have to take it to her in Kwara, because at the time she was working in Kwara, I was in Lagos here. We start struggling until God help us, interstate transfer was made possible. Then she came to join me in Lagos. Then we were living at Bankole, Idioro, Alamutu side of Idioro. I want to make a special mention of my church and my pastor, who have been helping us financially. Very, very wonderful pastor, very caring, very loving father. I can't forget in the GV, and it's worth mentioning at this juncture. And then she fell sick early this year. I cannot forget those who did not allow her to die. I know why I'm saying what I'm saying, because it's a lot of money. Relations, they rally around us. His own junior brother, Uncle Sunday Roye. There's another sister of ours here in Lagos, Auntie Foluke. Auntie Foluke took very good care of my daughter when she was at Osun State University. So all those people are worth mentioning, because in a situation like this, you need people around you. There's no amount that you are taking that is enough. And I want to mention too that all our gratuity, I feel we are spending close to half, more than half, for our upkeep. What about drug? What about things that we used to keep her like diapers and things like that? So all those people, those are mentioned briefly. My family, people in my family, people in our family, and even friends. And those who heard about this and chip in 10,000, 5,000 naira to cushion the effect of our hospital bill. So I thank God for their life and I pray for them. I used to tell myself, this kind of disease, I will not even pray that my enemy gets it. Talk less of my friend. It's terrible. And the only consolation, when I go out, but anytime I'm inside and I see a condition, it gives me a lot of trauma. It makes me sad, but I thank God. I'm moving on. I'm moving on with her. I'm moving on with her. Because it's the grace that leads us to where we are today. It's grace. Been to so many places, even spiritualists, we're going to some churches to where they say night vigil, prayer in my church, other churches that people, the only thing we do not go to anywhere that we know the name of Christ is not mentioned. That's it. I miss a very delicacies, very good food. Because my wife will not say, if money don't reach this amount, I will not take care of the family. So whatever I can give, she will have at home. And my daughter has taken that footstep. Because the other day we are discussing, and she said this, I said, you resemble your mother. Because mommy will not, because you cannot put in certain amount of money, you cannot put it down, there will not be food on the table. She used to be a pillar of support in this home. I desire that she will be completely healed by the power of the Holy Spirit, by God Himself. I desire that God will touch her. I desire, because she used to be a very active woman in the vineyard of God. She is what do you call her? She's a worker. She's an usher. And she used to be in her former ministry. We used to, together we are teachers in the Sunday school. So I desire that she will be able to go back and serve her God. I'm about to be made a grandfather. I desire that together she will carry my daughter's baby in her hand. I desire that my two other sons who are yet to be married, she will still be around to witness this happy moment of our lives. See, all these things get me emotional. That will all these things be? But I know with God, my brother, all things are possible. This is a time that she's supposed to enjoy her retirement. She's a very proactive and active person that will have paint our environment blue, looking for doing business here and there and things like that. But there was a time we have a lock shop downstairs that we even try to see whether we can open a shop, but this disease will not permit, will not allow her, and so we have to close the place down again. So as touching what I desire for her is just this good health. But brushing aside what the doctor told us. What they told us is that when neurons were destroyed, they are not replaced. Unlike the cells of the body, when you have a wound, the cells replace itself and you only have scar. But they say neurons, when they are destroyed, that all we can do is managing mommy. But Pentecostalists, our belief is that we brush aside doctor's reports and wait for miracle healing. And that's what we are waiting for. Believing in God that it's possible. God can make it possible. There was situations like that in the Bible. And even in contemporary time, that God has come in and moved. We have heard the story of tested cancer positive that God take away. We have had so many other things like that. So we are believing too that there's nothing our God cannot do. Thank God we have a caregiver. Otherwise, in fairness, sick people might be too. Nobody can stay indoor and watch his own wife degenerating every day and will be happy. So the caregiver will come in daily, and when I'm out there, because like I said earlier, I am coordinating a center. Those are my students I'm calling now. I'm coordinating a center. That is where I go every weekend to impact knowledge to new generation. And I move around to canvassing, looking for students. That's what my daily activities look like. So I do go out. And any other day I don't feel like going out, I'll be at home resting and taking care of her. You see, knowledge is power. I used to tell Blessing that when I was growing up, situations like this in our local environment, the victim will start talking because not knowing what they are saying most of the time. So if you're saying, Atepa, we do this, we do that, I say, what we need again? She's a witch. So here, education is key. People must read more about these things. They should take the victim to the hospital and listen to the doctor. Anything they do not understand, they should ask. Because since they told us that it's not curable and it may not keep people on time. If it's a terminal disease, people will say, okay, this thing, nobody knows. When a victim of Alzheimer will answer the call of the Almighty. So all people will do, and I want to appeal to our government. You see, I was discussing with a woman who had been living in US for a very long time. I said, a disease like this, he said, government will take care. They take care of drug, they take care of caregiver, they take care of everything. I want to appeal to our government to look into all these things and make sure that, because the victims are Nigerians, they are a native of this country and they deserve to be taken care of. So they should see how they can move around the hospital, get the statistics of those who are involved, not only in Alzheimer's disease, so many other, because we go to hospital, we soon have another clinic appointment on the 7th of October. And what we see every now and then is pitiable. You see people who are helpless. Then what about, some of us can take our patient to hospital. What about those who cannot take their patient to the hospital? So, well, it's just an appeal that government should please help. I mean, situations like this abound, and you see them on the street, dirty. And when they are dancing, we see them in the village, they will be dancing, and because they don't take care of them. And they are children of God too. They are people created by God. People should please not look down on them, not add more to their problem if they see them on the street for whatever reason. Even many are people who are running berserk and they are not in contact with reality. Alzheimer, the only Alzheimer is that Alzheimer does not make the victim to be violent, but then they are like vegetable. It's people around them that take care and give them. And then a situation like this, people must show love. Talk to them all of the time that you care. So I talk to mommy, I pray for mommy. Even before we clean her up, Mrs. Blessing will say, please come and pray for mommy. We pray. And I believe prayer is sustaining her up to today. Take it or leave it.
My name is Oluwafoyinsade Tayo. I'm the first child of this family from Mr. and Mrs. Abola Adeoye. And well, as regards my mom and the way it has affected me, I really didn't know that this sickness would take this toll. And when the sickness started fully in 2015, yeah, we noticed, I was surprised, we noticed some very, very irregular things, like she forgetting things. She's very organized. Very organized. She hardly forgets, because when we're growing up, she doesn't forget her change with you. She will never forget our 1 naira with you. The only person that forgets change with us is our daddy. So I noticed she started forgetting money with us. I thought it was good. Started forgetting where she keeps her things, her clothes. She started getting irrational in the morning when she wants to go to work. She doesn't like particular clothes. She just gets pissed off and irritated a lot easily. We didn't understand what was happening. We just felt that my mom was just getting irrational for nothing. I said, until when we started going to the hospital. Well, the way it has affected me now, I'm married now, and I realize it's the time I need her most. And a lot of times, when people talk about their moms at this time, it actually get me very emotional, because during my wedding, she couldn't do anything. She was just sitting down. And I know the roles she has played during other people's wedding. She couldn't do anything. She was just sitting down. And I know my mom to be very active. A whole lot of body was on me, and I just had to. I did the best I could do from the wedding, and I left the rest. Because I didn't want to stress myself. I just did the one I could do and I left the rest. Because the one that she was supposed to play parts, I did the little I could do and I just left the rest. And I shared it amongst some of the relatives and my friends. So now, I really need her. Sometimes I need to talk to someone. I need to talk to my mom about some things I need to just, I'm passing through and all, but there is nobody I could talk to except the only person I talk to is my dad. My dad, I thank God for the kind of man he is. He's a man of God, a child of God, and he understands. But at the same time, I don't want to overwhelm him with things as well because I know he's taking care of my mom. So I just discuss with my husband. And if he's supportive, my sister-in-law, she's been amazing. She's always been there for me. My mother-in-law, amazing people. My relatives, my husband's relatives, they've been there for me because they know about the situation with my mom. So they stand in gap. They always call me every day to know how I'm doing and all. But at the same time, it cannot be like your mom. I believe in miracles. I know that there's nothing God cannot still do. I know God can still heal her, and it's never too late for her. She's still very young, but age has taken, the disease has taken a toll on her, make her double her age and all. So I believe there's nothing God cannot still do. And I know I can still have those times back, and I know that she can witness my brother's wedding, though she didn't witness mine, and she can still carry my child, and take care of my child the way I want her to do.